Hey, if you're looking to start a fast casual restaurant and you need a set of financial projections, maybe for a potential investor or lender, then you've come to the right place. We have created a financial projection template built specifically for fast casual restaurants. And I'm going to walk you through how to fill the template out, how it works, what you're going to get at the end of that process, and how you can provide that to potential investors or lenders. But before I dive into the template, just a little bit of background on me. My name's Adam Huxama. I'm the co-founder of ProjectionHub, and we help entrepreneurs create financial projections for potential investors and lenders. We've been doing this for a little over 10 years. I spent 10 years myself as an SBA lender, so I have a lot of experience helping folks secure SBA financing. So if that's helpful to you, feel free to reach out to me, and I'd be happy to try to help guide you on the SBA process as well. Today, we're specifically going to be focused on this fast casual restaurant projection template. I put a link in the description of the video below so you can grab this template and follow along. And if you stick around to the very end of the video as a thank you for sticking around to the end and listening to me drone on about maybe not the most exciting topic of financial modeling, you're going to get a discount code. I'm going to give you access to a discount code at the end of the video as our thank you for sticking around. So with that, let me go ahead and dive into how this model works. All right, we're going to start here on the at a glance tab. So this is kind of the end of the process. So after you've done input all of your assumptions, you're going to have some nice charts and graphs and tables that you're going to be able to put into a business plan or a pitch deck for lenders and investors. You'll notice some industry specific data like how many customers, your customer acquisition costs, average customer spend, customers per day, your food cost percentage. We have catering built into the model as well. If you're going to do catering, you can see that as well. You'll notice some other graphs and charts and tables here as well. You're also going to get a 5-year income statement summary, a 5-year cash flow summary, a 5-year balance sheet summary, and then the income statement, cash flow, and balance sheet all broken down by month for each of the 5 years. So this is going to give you everything you need for a potential SBA loan or really anything that I would expect most investors or lenders to need would be available in this model. We're going to need to do a little bit of work though in order to get this filled out. So we're going to step back here to the input assumptions tab. And the first thing you need to know is that any cell that's highlighted in blue is an assumption tab that you can change without breaking anything in the model. So you can set the projection start month, your starting cash balance, how much you're personally going to invest, if you're going to personally invest some into the business. And then if you also have outside investors, you could put that in here as well. So that'd be this new equity investment could be from outside investors. And you can select what month in the model that's coming in. So month 1 in the model would be, kind of right at the beginning. Month 0, this could be that, you've already maybe put in some money into the business to get it even to this point. You can also put in accounts receivable terms. Now, for a restaurant, typically you're going to get paid 100% of your revenue right when you provide the food, right? When you make the sale. So leaving this at 100 probably makes the most sense. Accounts payable, this just means what percentage of your bills are you going to pay in the month that you incurred the expense versus the next month. So some of your expenses, like maybe your utility bill, you'll get a utility bill in the mail at the end of the month for the prior month, and then you might have 30 days to pay it. So you have a little bit of a delay there. And so some of your bills, maybe some of your vendors would also give you an invoice and give you some time to pay. So you could assume that some percentage are paid in the following month. On the inventory side, you can put your initial starting inventory and then the percentage of inventory that you would hold on hand as a percentage of sales. So I'd recommend just putting a relatively small percentage here, maybe 10 to 30%. And what this is going to do is just keep some inventory on hand. You're gonna have some inventory on hand, but since a lot of food products are going to be perishable, you're probably not going to keep more than a week or two worth of supplies inventory on hand in most cases, I would expect. On the fixed asset side, you can input leasehold improvements. So let's say you're renting out a space and you need the loan to help cover renovations or leasehold improvements. You can put that in here. We've got a value of $60,000 on the renovations, and you can select what month you're going to do that. I'm going to set the salvage cost to 0. On the equipment, you can say, how much. Maybe there was already a restaurant here, and so you don't need to outfit a whole kitchen, but you need some new equipment, some new furniture, and maybe a new sign. And you can also spread out when you're going to purchase this. So maybe the furniture you're going to purchase in month 3, and the signage you're not going to actually purchase until month 4 of the model. You can set loans. So let's say you're going to take a $10,000 loan from friends and family, and let's say you've already done that. Even just to get to this point, maybe you've already kind of gotten started with this restaurant concept, and so you actually took the $10,000 loan already. And so if that's the case, you want to put 0 in this first payment month, meaning you've already actually received the loan. If you put month 1 in here, or any future month, it's going to assume that you're going to receive that $120,000 in cash and then start paying on it. So 0 for existing loans, 1 for loans that you're going to get. And then you can put the interest rate and the number of months left to pay on that loan. And then this section of the model, once you're done with the projections, you're going to want to come back to look at this green table. Now, right off the bat, it may be broken. It might not make sense. And that could be because what it's trying to do here is determine when you're going to be cash flow positive. Well, if you haven't finished filling out the model, or maybe you just put the expenses in, but not the revenue side, well, the model is going to say, you never break even. You're not cash flow positive. It's not going to know what to do. It's going to break. So wait until you're all done and then come back to this. And if it's still not working, it could be that your starting cash is not sufficient. It could be that you never reach break even. If you don't ever reach break even or positive cash flow, the model is going to not know what to do, because it's trying to figure out how much working capital, how much extra cash do I need to help me reach that point until I break even. So keep that in mind. On the import revenue tab here, we can set an advertising budget. So let's assume we spend a bit on advertising. We think it's going to cost us $10 to acquire a new visitor to the restaurant. And so we've got 1,000 people a month from new organic visitors or word of mouth visitors. And we can set a growth rate on that. So we say, okay, over time, that's going to grow 2% a month. You could also make this a negative. So maybe over time, you kind of saturate the market, and everyone that wants to try the restaurant has tried it. And so it might actually, your new visitors might actually go down over time. From there, you can set a percentage. What percentage of your new visitors are going to become regulars? So you can set a percentage of who we think will be regulars. Of those regulars, some percentage of those regulars may leave each month. So we're saying 4% of our regular customer base is going to stop being a customer anymore each month. Ultimately, that gives us this number of active regulars to the restaurant. That is going to then allow us to say, okay, how many visits per regular per month should we expect? So we said 1.5 times per month here is how many times an active regular is going to come. That allows us to calculate the total customer visits during the month. And we can also see customers per day and customers per hour. And so you can kind of just do a gut check. Does that make sense with your model? Do you think you can, by month 12 here, do you think you can have 150 unique customers a day? Does that make sense for the business model you're looking to do? And then say this is a fast casual restaurant, so maybe just have basic sandwiches or basic food item, drinks and sides. And so you can put the price that you're going to charge to the customer. This is your cost. How much does it cost? So your food and labor cost, or I'm sorry, just your food cost here. This would just be your food cost in this section. And then this is the average number of purchases per person per visit. So let's just go through that to be clear here. If this says 0.9, that means of these 1,575 customers that visit during the month, 0.9 or 90% of them are going to order a basic food item. 0.8 or 80% of them are going to order a drink. And 0.3, 30% of them are going to order an add-on. So all of that's going to kind of be calculated here to come up with what's our average customer ticket. And so here we can see average customer ticket's $10.20. We can apply this growth rate to say we're going to increase prices, or we're going to try to upsell more over time. And so we think we're going to be able to apply this annual growth rate to the ticket, average ticket. You can also apply an inflation rate to the average cost here as well. And then the last section, the revenue side here, is we have the ability to add in catering. So if you want to do catering as well, you can set the number of catering events or orders you're going to have per month, what the average revenue per catering event is, the average food cost and labor cost per catering event to give you your catering revenue and cost of goods sold. So that is it on the revenue side. On the direct labor side, we're going to say how many hours are we open each week, plus any extra hours, so any opening or closing hours. So if you're open 7 days a week and you have 1 hour early for opening, 1 hour after close that you're needing at least an employee there, and then you can set the average employee hourly rate. This sets the number of transactions per employee per hour. So let's say you have 3 employees, like one at the cash register and 2 cooks. That would mean that you think you can handle 24 orders. So 3 employees times 8 per hour. So 24 orders per hour. So that's what you're trying to get at here, trying to figure out how many orders can I get with the employees that I would have. So then we say how many hours per week per employee. It'd be 30 hours, or we can set whatever that is. And then the minimum employees per hour. So we're saying here, let's say we always have to have at least 2 employees, no matter kind of what our sales volume looks like, we have to have at least 2 employees. So all of that will help us calculate our direct labor expense here. And then on the other operating expenses here, we can set various operating expenses, and we can set our things like accounting expense or transaction fees could be a percentage of revenue. Now, 8% is probably too high. So I would, unless that's like an Uber Eats or some sort of, or DoorDash or something that's taking a significant percentage of revenue, more than just the credit card processing fee. If this transaction fee should just be from credit card processing fees, that might be 3%. So 0.03 could be what you'd want to put in there as an example. You can put in your insurance and rent expense and so on, right? And then finally, we can put in our salaried position. So we've already talked about direct labor and the hourly employees on the direct labor tab, but you might also have a manager or supervisor that have a specific salary. Here you can enter in their annual salary, their employer taxes, benefits, and then what month they will start. So we're saying this position is going to start in month 1. And for the supervisor, we're not going to hire the supervisor until month 25. So at the beginning of year 3 in the model, we're going to hire a supervisor as well. And you can also set the number of those particular employees. So if you said, well, I'm actually going to have 3 shift supervisors, you could actually put in 3 here as an example. And that is it on the input side of things. So you're then going to come back to where we started, the profit and loss at a glance. We see here we have a net loss in the first year as a startup. That probably makes some sense. That's why you're getting a loan to help cover startup costs as you ramp up. And then you can see here we end up showing up to 18% net income by the end of year 5. You want to keep an eye on that. If it's a restaurant, probably not going to have 40% net profit margins. So keeping that in the high single digits, low double digits is probably kind of normal for the industry there. So keep that in mind as you look at the results here. Okay, thank you for sticking around to the very end. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to me at support@projectionhub.com. Be happy to try to help. Also, as a thank you, as I promised, if you go in the description of the video below, there's going to be a link to a form that you can fill out. You fill out that form to get a coupon code or discount code that you can use as our thank you and take a little discount off of this particular template as a thank you for sticking around to the end. So I appreciate that. And again, if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks.